working on the worksheet that says properties and attributes of triangles. And some of these items on here we've already learned about. We started talking about them last Friday. And so we're going to, well, go ahead and put your name on it. Fill in period 3, and then today is the what? The 13th. Okay, so we have already talked about the perpendicular bisector. In fact, we constructed them with the safety-based compasses. So from each endpoint, we would make an arc up above and an arc down below, and then we drew that perpendicular bisector from what we call the midpoint. So we're going to draw a midpoint right here. That's going to give us 2 congruent pieces right here. So I'm going to put double ticks. You can put single ticks if you want. And then we're going to take the flat side of your student ID and then just go ahead and draw a perpendicular line. If you need help getting it exactly perpendicular, I just line mine up with the bottom of this line right here. So I know that it's perpendicular. Go through that midpoint and just go straight up. Okay. We're going to put the little box, which means it's perpendicular. So the perpendicular goes from the midpoint all the way up to the top where it's 90 degrees. Okay. In the box right below it, we have what's called the circumcenter. Okay, so the circumcenter is composed when you have 3 perpendicular bisectors. All right, so we talked about this on Friday, and we estimated where it would be on a triangle. We drew it in our notes, but we're going to write down a few more pieces of information about it. First, we're going to write down that the circumcenter, this fancy word right here, can be either in, on, or outside the triangle, depending on what kind of triangle it is. Okay, so last chapter we classified triangles, and there are different types of triangles, right? So depending on, bless you, depending on the different type of triangle that it is, it's going to depend where your circumcenter is going to end up at, okay? So it could be inside, like somewhere in here. It could be on, like on a segment. Even if you had like an obtuse triangle, it could even end up outside the triangle. So if we bisected each side, if we took the midpoint and did the perpendicular bisector, there's one from one side, and we did it for this side, so we'll put single tick marks here, double tick marks here, go straight up and draw the perpendicular bisector. You're going to see that on this particular triangle, this circumcenter is inside, and 90% of this time they're going to end up inside. But you just need to know that sometimes they can end up on or even outside that triangle, okay? Then what happens is you end up drawing a circle. This is the shorthand symbol for circle, and that circle is going to be what we call circumscribed outside of the triangle. And we also wrote in your notes on Friday that that circumcenter is equidistant from the vertices. Okay, so if we had our safety-based compass and we put that little metal ring right there on the circumcenter, we would be able to draw a perfect circle that would end up going through all three vertices. And the circle would look something, hopefully a little prettier than that, like that. Obviously, with a safety-based compass, you can draw a nicer circle, okay? So this circle is circumscribed, meaning it's on the outside, versus the next box that's titled in center. This in probably means that the circle's going to be where? Inside, okay? So the in center is going to be composed of 3 angle bisectors. So let's do the angle bisector box up here first. Angle bisector means you're going to take one of the angles. So let's just pick this one right here. And we're going to draw a line going right through the middle of it. And that's going to create a bisected angle. Okay. If you were using your safety-based compass, it would turn out perfect. Right now, we're just eyeballing it. Okay? So if we did that to all 3 angles, we bisected this one, and then we bisected this one, and then we bisected this one, that would give us this point right here called the in center. Okay? So those 3 angle bisectors give us an in center. And you know how the circumcenter could be out on it or outside? Well, the in center, because it has that in, the IN, is always inside the triangle. Always. It can never end up on one of the sides. It can never end up outside. Okay? And this one was, the circle was outside. On this one, the circle is going to be inscribed inside the triangle. All right? And that in center is also equidistant from the sides. Okay, so this one was equidistant from the vertices. This one's equidistant from the sides. And when we draw that circle, you're going to see how it's going to touch each of the sides, whereas this one touched each of the vertices. Okay, so the circle on this one ends up being right here. All right. So these are the 2 we looked at late last week. The 2 new ones we're going to talk about today are the median, the altitude, and how we get this something called the centroid and the orthocenter from those 2. Okay? So first let's talk about the median. The median is going to go from the midpoint. So halfway from this vertex to this vertex, you're going to put a point. Draw an arrow to it, call it the midpoint. Which other one goes from the midpoint? That perpendicular bisector, right? That perpendicular bisector also went from the midpoint, okay? But we're not going to draw our line straight up, okay? Instead, this midpoint is going to go to the opposite vertex, okay, or vertice. Okay, so you're going to take your student ID and you're going to connect that midpoint to that opposite vertex. Okay, now don't get the perpendicular bisector and the median confused, right? The perpendicular bisector is going to have that box because it's going to be perfectly straight up and down. Is this one going to be perfectly straight up and down? No. No, not unless it's a very specific kind of triangle. Okay, every once in a while it will just also happen to be, but usually it'll just go to the opposite vertex and it will usually be slanted. Huh? Only on very special types of triangles would it be perpendicular, like it is on the perpendicular bisector. Okay? Now, let's talk about the altitude. So the altitude is going to start at the opposite vertex. And then it's going to go straight down. Okay? So you're going to take your student ID, line up the bottom of your card with that line right there, and then scooch it over till it touches that opposite vertex, and then draw in your altitude. Okay, this one is going to have the little box. It is going to be perpendicular. But is it the perpendicular bisector? No, because the perpendicular bisector would have the midpoint. Is this the midpoint? No, not the midpoint. So they each have these unique kind of features to them, okay? That's why I made this little chart so you could kind of have it organized and go, okay, how is this different than this and this different than this? So you can look back at it and say, oh, okay, that I thought it was a perpendicular bisector, but it's really a median, okay? If you need help, like making more notes on this chart, let me know, all right? So if the perpendicular bisector, if the circumcenter is 3 perpendicular bisectors and the incenter is 3 angle bisectors, what do you think the centroid is going to be? What? 3 medians. And the orthocenter is going to be 3 altitudes. Okay? So I line them each up perfectly underneath what they're 3 of. Okay? So the 3 medians are always inside. They're always inside, and the centroid is going to have a special relationship. It's going to be 2/3 the distance from the vertex to the opposite side. Yes. Make it larger too. We're about to draw it, but AB is going to be equal to 2/3 of AC, or BC is going to be equal to 1/3 of AC. So we'll draw it in just a second, and we'll label those parts. Okay. So if the centroid is 3 medians, you're going to go from the midpoint, bless you, to the opposite vertex, where those 2 pieces are congruent. And you'll end up doing it on all 3 sides. So that's going to go to the opposite vertex and the midpoint of this side. To the opposite vertex. Notice they all are concurrent. They all intersect right here. This is called the centroid. Okay? Now if we label one of them A, B, C. The centroid is going to be a special relationship. This top portion, this AB, bless you, is going to be equal to 2/3 the length of the whole thing. Okay? So let's say the whole length of AC is 9 inches. How long is AB going to be?